Today we're going to look at Oklahoma and a couple of their plays against LSU, and a lot of them were some things that they've done in the past, but we'll take a look. Right here, they're running their under screen. They ran this 3 or 4 times in this game, and LSU did a really good job defending it. They did a good job because they would move their line, twist their line. They also did a good job because they got lucky one time. They fired their corner, and he ended up slowing CeeDee Lamb down. He wasn't able to get there, but Oklahoma went back to running their under screen like they did against Baylor. They'd run that tailback on the wheel. They block number 3, number 2, number 1. Quarterback should be reading right there. The old line's taking care of 4 down plus the mic right there. But we'll play it real quick and let you guys see what takes place. So here's the under coming. There's a tailback going. He even takes that linebacker. Quarterback should be reading this guy because you should have these 3 taken care of right there, especially with the leverage they have. Should be working that outside shoulder so that the receiver, if he comes across, catching that ball at the line of scrimmage, getting across to the outside. But right here, Jalen decides that he doesn't like this guy on the under. He's coming down. He knows he's going outside, so he starts getting vertical right there on the draw. Center's a little bit slow to get out, or maybe Jalen Hurts is a little bit quick to get going. But right there, of course, Jalen Hurts still has to make the guy miss that he's reading, and is able to make a play right there for a decent gain right there for Oklahoma. But you can see exactly what they're trying to do. What they did on the backside was they kind of switched up who was chasing and who was doing what. So this is probably one of the more interesting parts about it. Once he comes under, this linebacker sees this back going that direction, and he chases. This corner comes in, he falls back into that area. I guess maybe looking for that draw that they've seen so often, especially the game before that they saw against Baylor in the Big 12 championship. They ran this play, so you can see there's the corner right there. He ended up coming with him just a little bit, and then he went vertical. I guess switching it off right there. He knows that Jalen Hurts likes to take off, so they kind of switched that off and were able to play that and get their numbers right in the box. But then, of course, Jalen Hurts, being a great athlete that he is able to make a big play. This is a look of Oklahoma running inside zone with a quarterback, and they're out of their 21 personnel formations, but, of course, now they have 3 receivers out there. So just kind of drawing up what they probably have for inside zone. Again, want to get double teams. This is what we're looking for whenever we go inside zone. We're trying to find as many chances to get double teams as we possibly can. So get a good double team right there, and then get a good double team right there to the backer. He actually crosses, and he cuts right there. He slides to kind of let it develop, and he's coming downhill. What we'd say is we'd be reading this B gap, but I'm not sure exactly what they're reading right here, but we'll let it play out. You can see there's a great double team right there, getting hip to hip. They're getting hip to hip. I'd say probably try to keep your outside arm free right there, your inside arm, so you can get up on that backer. Don't want to get too turned right there with our shoulders. Should be getting downhill towards the B gap, pressing that right there. And right there you can see if he presses it and goes vertical, he's coming off. But right here he gets a little bit antsy, ends up bouncing this outside. And again, whenever you have a player like Jalen Hurts, all right, we're lucky right here that there's not a holding call. Anytime that you kind of bounce that outside, there's a good chance that should maybe be a holding call as well. But then they don't get it called. But that's why a lot of times in the inside zone, we tell them, hey, be patient, slow too fast through, maybe slow down right there and get vertical in behind those blockers one way or another, because those guys are going to come off. I know that it looks like there's a free hitter right there, but those guys, if we press that double team, are going to be able to come off and make a play right there and get in that guy's way, and you might be going vertical, and you don't have to have the guy that's quite like Jalen is special with his feet to make the plays. But again, you can see inside zone right there, still getting 3 receivers. I mean, they have 7 guys to block, and LSU has a 7-man box. So, I mean, numbers are great right there. We're even. So they're running the quarterback, trying to get a big game. Here's a look from Oklahoma running their slot fade, and they kind of switch up what they're doing here on the backside. So you got your slot fade right here with a hitch. Normally, what Oklahoma does whenever they run their Y cross is they fake the screen, and he runs right there. They run this a little bit different. Just he goes vertical, and they just run the slot fade. He gets to that crossing route. They got the post curl, and he's faking across, getting to the flats right there for curl flat. And we'll play it real quick to see exactly what takes place. Right there you can see just a little bit of a fake, trying to hold those backers so that this crosser can get into that window. CeeDee Lamb is going vertical right there. Since he's over 5 yards, he's going to try to get his shoulders or hips inside before he fades to the numbers. And they've got a hitch right there outside in case that corner drops off. You can take that. Just a smash right there on the on the corner. And right there you can see his eyes start here, then it looks like they almost go back to the middle of the field, and he goes back outside knowing he's going to take a shot one-on-one with that safety. And you can see as this ball is traveling, here's the crosser, there's the corner. If that corner would have been playing off so it wasn't just one-on-one with a safety, probably going to take that underneath. If he's down, safety's over the top of that fade, and look for that climb. And if that climb's not there, then you're getting backside, and you can see there's the flat from the tailback. Here's a tailback going to the flats, and you've got a curl in there behind it as well. So there was a progression similar to what they normally run as far as their Y cross, but just more of a slot fade as opposed to faking that screen and going vertical. Still the same thing. I guess one thing that we're thinking about looking at is kind of anything that we have where we run a smash, we can always tag that backside, because we feel like this past year we didn't throw that enough, and we thought that it was really good when we did. So we're going to look into a few things like that and see about that. But just a different look of how Oklahoma was running Y cross this game against LSU, and was a big play. Again, Jalen Hurts just knowing that you got probably one of the top 2 or 3 receivers in college football going vertical, give him an opportunity to make a play, and he does for a big play there early to help Oklahoma keep the game tight, and they end up tying it up here a play or two later. Here's a look from Oklahoma running their freeze option out of a goal line set. You can see he's one back, but we've got basically 2 tight ends and a full back, and then we've got CeeDee Lamb out here. And they just get a little bit of emotion. He goes out to begin with, and he comes back in. And what they're really running is they're running inside zone with their line to the left. All right, so with that being said, you're going to be down right there on that 7 technique. Everybody's doubling to there, basically doubling to there. They're just taking care of all these guys. CeeDee Lamb knows he's taking the second guy in the box, and they're going to read right there. They get a little bit of a freeze. You see tailback reaches there for just a count, and then they speed option out this direction, saying that, hey, we're going to read him, we're going to make him wrong, and we're going to be one-on-one with this corner, and that's what they end up doing right here. Good job right there. They're getting him pinned. I know there's a little bit of penetration, but he does a good job of taking care of him, and Jalen Hurts knows, all right, I could pitch that right there, but if he's hesitant at all, I can just pump that, and I can go vertical. That's what he does right there. One with the corner now, and he had already filled outside. So really good call. Good execution on knowing who they were working to, and good job by CeeDee Lamb to not block the read right there. Passes him up knowing that they're going to take care of him and blocking that guy so that they can, whenever you run that option, you got to make sure that you're all on the same page so that you don't think that the quarterback's going to read somebody, blocking him, and then he thinks he's going to read somebody and he ends up being blocked. Now you got to go to the next guy. So really good job right there, and then really good execution by Oklahoma. There's really good design by Oklahoma on what they're doing. They're actually running a little bit of midline right here is kind of what they're doing, but they're just reading different guys so that you're not always reading the defensive end. So what they end up doing is they're running outside zone this direction, which LSU has a really good call, and they end up firing their corner and getting the safety over the top right there. But they fire their corner, and he even, there's nobody there for him. The receiver just gets enough of him so he doesn't just come free, and he's actually off balance and he falls down. But you can see it was a good call because he would have been a free hitter if he would have just avoided that contact, even just sliding into the box just a little bit so he can't, get a piece of you right there before you release. But what Oklahoma's running is they're running outside zone, so he's basically reaching right there. They're reaching there to there, but he jabs at his nose, and he goes to the backer, and he just bases that in. So, again, it turns into basically reading the A-gap player on the outside zone. If they could have ran him off, this would have been a really clean look because this tackle's able to reach right there because he knows that he's going B-gap, so he's able to reach in pretty easily. But right there you can see exactly what they're trying to do, reading that A-gap player. Whenever you can read a guy and then kind of slow him down, what they do right here with number 72, hopefully it can help you later in the game. But right there, good jab right there, and then he's going over there to that linebacker to take care of him. Just thought that was an interesting look. I'm not sure if they ran this again in the game. I didn't notice it, but that first time they ran it was kind of interesting, and it could have been a big play. Either way, if they wouldn't have quarter fired, he might have been run through the B gap because that end would have stayed in the C gap. But right there, interesting look, reading A gap players on your outside zone.